Alright, hey guys, in this video I'm going to talk about what a lot of expats consider. Now, some of them do, a lot of them don't, but I'm going to talk about living part-time in the Philippines and part-time in your home country. Stick around. Alright guys, Maya and I, we just hiked to a place called Baslay Hot Springs and Cold Springs, and unfortunately the last typhoon that came through destroyed it. There were 4 soaking tubs made out of cement or what have you, and they were just destroyed by the avalanche of rocks. And so we still have the hot springs, and a lot of people come here and soak. I'll show you in the background here. And so we did kind of soak a little bit in the hot spring, just not in the soaking tub, but in the actual water. And then we hiked a little further upstream and we found a little waterfall that we kind of hung out in for a little bit. And next we're gonna go grab sushi. So it's been a nice day here at the hot springs. But somebody had commented and said, why don't more expats live in the Philippines half-time? Now, that is an ideal situation for a lot of people. Now, for some people, they may do that if they have the money or maybe they have a place to stay, because otherwise it could be quite expensive, because really you would almost have to maintain 2 residences, which could be expensive. Now, there are ways around it. I suppose you could go back to the US and do a 6-month lease and get out of it, but you're still talking a lot of money for deposits and waiting for those deposits to come back, and then coming out to the Philippines and doing the same process, doing a 6-month lease somewhere, or maybe just traveling around. Now, for more people, it's probably more problematic and not worth it. I do know a few people. I have a friend in New Zealand who comes out and does about 6 months a year here. Back in New Zealand, does another 6 months at his home. So I suppose for some people who maybe have their home paid off, or maybe they have a relative that doesn't, they have an extra bedroom that they don't mind them staying in for 6 months out of the year. I don't know. There's different situations. Me, it would be very expensive to maintain that, at least to live half-time and half-time there. And for a lot of people, they end up, the main reason they come out to the Philippines, let's be honest, are Filipinos, and they enter into a relationship. Now, not many people that I know of really want to ideally have a relationship 6 months together, 6 months apart, 6 months together. You're asking for a lot of problems, in my opinion, if you do that. So, by the way, Maya's a little upstream, just kind of hanging out. And yeah, we did this hike all the way down. You can watch Maya's video, Maya's Philippines Life, and check out the full video of our day at the coffee shop and hike and the hot springs and waterfall. I let Maya do a lot of those, and I just kind of do scenes in front of these places that we go to. But I do know of some people. I actually know a guy who's married to a Filipina, and he maintains a residence here, but he goes and works, I think, as a nurse or something like that, about 6 months out of the year. And then he goes back to the Philippines and lives for 6 months. So again, ideally, I don't think that's for most people. But if you're younger and you can afford that, and that's all you can do for now until retirement, I mean, that's certainly better than living a full year in the West. And then, of course, if you can time it correctly and escape the winters, that would be even more ideal. So I would like to hear from the viewers, how many people actually do this? Is it just few, far, and in between? Because I only know of a handful of people that do this. And I don't know of a ton of people that do it. I really don't. Most people either make the move out here, or they make multiple trips and then maybe bring their spouse or fiance back to the West. You don't hear of too many people who are back and forth 6 months, 6 months. At some point it gets a bit old. But again, this is where I would love to hear from you guys. How many of you have thought about doing this? Now, more and more people, of course, are able to do remote work, and so it's enabling a lot of people who were waiting to retirement age to come live out here, and now a lot of them really have the flexibility to be able to come and live here full time or just kind of bounce around, the nomadic lifestyle. I've written a few articles about it on my geointhephilippines.com website. By the way, on today's hike, I've got myself a water bag. I've got one of these cooling hats, quick dry t-shirts and shorts, my Merrell hiking shoes, all the stuff that I highly recommend if you're going to live out here or travel. Check it out on my Geo in the Philippines website under Geo's Travel Essentials, and you can pick up a lot of the things that I also use myself personally and highly recommend. I think more and more I see more people doing the nomadic type lifestyle where they're able to make income online. So that, I suppose, is a good thing with today's digital age. You know, that these opportunities weren't around before. I'm not sure if you guys can see the sulfur behind me, but it's from there it's hot, but the actual river itself is actually warm. Not hot, but it's perfect for soaking in. And yeah, it was nice and refreshing. Of course, we smell like sulfur now. That is a plus of the Philippines, is there's all these natural waterfalls and hot springs and cold springs, and just phenomenal beauty. Phenomenal beauty. But for an example, I don't want to get off topic, but for example, the one thing I do not like about this is like this place. This place was a well-maintained place. It had nice stairs and railings going down. And once it's built, they simply just don't seem to maintain it anymore. The maintenance just goes away. And I'm sure Filipinos share the same frustration that they have these beautiful places. I mean, so many places that I've been to, waterfalls that used to collect an admission, and they would have upkept bathrooms and the stairs and the trail and the waterfalls. There was no garbage and things were clean. Have just, at least after the pandemic, they just have not come back. The trails are, the railings are missing, stairs have crumbled, like this place. The cement soaking tubs were destroyed, and I guess they just thought, okay, we're done with this place, which is a shame. And this is a Sunday, and we are the only people down here. Same with the coffee shop that we went to just nearby here, Baslai Highlands Brew, I believe it's called. Beautiful place, beautiful views. Again, you can see Maya's video for it, but they just don't maintain it. And you know, if something happens, or like the pandemic happened, it's just gone. It's done. The jungle reclaims it, which is happening here, sadly. Now, you'll still see the locals come down, and you know, that are living around here, they might use it. But otherwise, it is no longer a tourist destination. Not anymore. So the last thing I wanted to mention on living out here part-time is, if you're going to do that, it's almost best to be almost like a nomad. You know, if you want to settle down and you want to be in a serious relationship, it is really hard. It is really hard for both parties to maintain a relationship where you're 6 months in the U.S., 6 months here, unless you're going to take her back to the U.S. and get her green card where she can come back and forth with you. But to maintain 2 residences is quite expensive. If you've got the money, fantastic. But if you don't, yeah, you almost have to be nomadic. But again, I would like to hear your thoughts and opinions on it. How many of you are looking to live part-time maybe here, but don't want to give up your home in the West? And you know, again, let's have that conversation down in the comment section, and I look forward to reading your comments. And guys, if you want to help support the Geo in the Philippines channel, consider joining my patreon.com/Geo in the Philippines for more than 80 additional videos, constant contact with me, and much more. Thank you so much, and I'll see everybody next time. Bye.